and chances are one of your vernier wheels is going to come off as well. The wheels have two parts. They have a plate on top, which is this metal thing that acts as I don't know, gives it resistance when you turn it. That slides right off. You have your wheel. Magnet should be on the front. Set those aside. On the bottom of the gun, you have a second vernier wheel. It just slides off. Some people like to take the magnet off of the rear one. Lightens up the trigger a little bit. Same deal, plate. Then set the body aside for a moment. Now, onto the trigger. You can remove it easily. There's two screws that hold it in. One right there and one right there. They come off very simply with an Allen screw. Just a little 2mm. Make sure you don't lose these guys because they're very small. And once you remove those, you can simply just lift the trigger right out of the frame. There you have the trigger. Set that aside. And your trigger frame is completely disassembled. Minus the ASA, but you know, that comes off easily. Put the frame aside, and now you're ready to start on just the body. As far as the body goes, you can take out your bolt, which is a simple twist of the breech knob. Make sure the bolt's fully back. Breech flips right open, and the bolt slides right out the back. Make sure you clean off your bolt well. Do not ever oil it. Try to keep it as dry as possible. It's made from Delrin, which is a self-lubricating plastic. And it does not to be lubricated. If you lubricate it, your bolt will actually expand. And the tolerances are so tight in there that if it expands, there is no guarantee that it will function properly. So just kind of wipe off any sort of buildup that's gotten on there, you know, anything that'll further abrade the gun, especially the breech. Your bolt is a wear and tear item. This one's starting to become on its last legs. As you can see, the soft face is gone from it. Detents have worn a pretty decent sized notch in there, but it still works. So, set the bolt aside. See that the breech is empty. And you can go from here. Alright, what should we do next? Alright, let's take out the eyes. To remove the eyes, you need to look at the eye cover. See that there is one screw on each eye cover. They're both the same size, and they come off with a 2mm wrench. Once again, these are very little screws, so try not to lose them. Little guys. Set it aside. You have your eye cover. And in here you can see you have a spring which pulls out a detent. These little white things are your detents. The spring and the detent do separate quite easily. You just got to tug it a little bit. Your detent should be fine. Might be a good idea to have a spare two of those laying around just in case you need to replace them. Let's do the same thing to the other side. Undo the screw. Pull off the eye cover. Pull the spring and the detent. Alright, and now we're ready to remove the eye covers. You need to be very careful when you do this, because you can damage the eyes when you do this. just in general, if you're very gentle, start from the rear and just kind of pull up on it, switch up to the front. Front's actually probably a bit better because the eye is attached in the rear. You'll see the detent will come out of its little form, or the eye cover, I'm sorry, and you pull the top. You can see the eye wire is now exposed. Follow to the bottom of the gun. You'll see where the eye cover rests in there. Very gently tug it out. And then the second part of the gun should be very easy. Just flip it up away from the eye. You can see how it covers the eye in there. And just give it a tug. And there are your eye covers. No problems there. Set those aside. Now to remove the eyes, you got to do this kind of at your discretion. Like, once again, the eyes are very fragile, especially where the photo transistors are. They have very, very weak solders up in there. I like to take a toothpick, go in through the detent. You got to kind of look down the breech, find where the eye hole is on the other side of the breech, and I just kind of poke it out with a toothpick, and you probably saw how that just popped out of there. With a toothpick, do the same thing on the other side. Hold the gun through the detent, find the eye hole, and poke. And your eyes should plop right out. And set these somewhere they will not get damaged. We're going to put these over here for now. And now you pretty much have all of the fragile parts of your gun out. With that being said, let's go to the back of the gun. You have your back plate, which comes off, your solenoid cover, which comes off. I like to start with the back plate just because you can't get the cover off without taking it off. 2mm screw. The screw that holds the back plate in is the same size as the ones that hold in your trigger, so it's very careful. Just be careful not to, lose anything. And your back plate cover is attached to your battery and the wire that plugs into the board. I like to tug on the wire that goes into the board, just get that out of the way, and then gently grab the other wire and pull the battery right out. And this is how you remove the backplate assembly. Set that out of the way.